All right, so why don't we call the order at 5:40? First order of business. We're good, right? Yeah. Yes. Is to approve the attached minutes from the November 3rd, 2021 meeting. Can get that motion? Motion. A second. All right, any discussion? All in favor? No. Opposed? Unanimously approved. All right, we'll do a couple subcommittee updates. We did have that one outstanding Q&A old business item, and a little bit on new business for our meeting schedule, but let's go right into subcommittee updates. Number one is Paul Timbers Marketing. Ira is here with us today.
Yep.
Go ahead,
My
sir.
comments covered wagon. Yeah. Well, I have a newsletter here, so we can go through it one more time. Try to get it out before Christmas so people want to read it. This is kind of giving an overview, but it's kind of an update and what's, all the groups and what they're doing. And it was really key to lay that groundwork because this next year is just a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but you want to be visual out there because, there's a lot of activity up to it. And so I think this kind of lays a baseline, say, here's where we are, here's what's going on. And as you can see, if you go through it, a little Q&A in there, a little bit about, some of the things that were going on, always reminding them of the calendar dates and the roles and the progress report. It's going to start driving people to the website a lot more. So the website kind of is the daily update. And so we see this one and one other newsletter, maybe a Zoom meeting next year. I suggested that the CAT and might go to the committee, and we do an interview with the architect, a video, and also Q&A, because at that point you can explain the architectural firm exactly all the details that's going into this. Because most people have no clue what it takes to get a design done, following all the compliances and everything. So I thought an interview was saying, here's how we go about it, whatever the progress reports. They get progress reports and education. I think that's going to go on all the way to the school over that. You want to keep educating, and because you're going to have other issues cropping up where people can learn about it, because most people have no clue what it takes to put up a brand new high school building or anything where the government and the regulations and rules of what these buildings can do and what they take, why it does what it does and why it costs what it costs. So I thought minimally let's bring, do Mark, Richard, saying here's our role, here's what it is. I don't think we have to go to the general contractor. They could talk about how, all the general contractors, what's going to happen. And then the following year is just getting into all the nuts and bolts and just, how the building's going up. So this first year, in a sense, is just more education. Here's where we are. Letting people know we're out there. So just like, what's going on at that high school? I mean, that's the last thing you want to hear from the public after you voted for it. That, we don't know what's going on. It's a whole year. Please tell me. So these little newsletters and the website just keeps the noise down, considering that the times we're in that we kind of look at our institutions a little skewed. So, that's what our theme would be. And maybe those Zoom meetings sometime in late spring again. I don't think you have to do a whole month of Zoom meetings, but where people can call in and ask questions. I think the Q&A was kind of an offshoot of the survey. I don't know if that's kind of past, unless you see something on there that we think we need to keep updating all the time. I went through it, and a lot of it was came from survey answers, which is fine. And so it's just, I keep saying engagement. People are not worried about what's going on. So that's where we are. And I think, we'll get this, if you approve it, I'll just get out to the primary case a lot next week. And at least 2 weeks prior to Christmas. After that, no one's going to be paying attention. Coming from anything.
Maybe they'll get it.
Yeah, just get it done. And then the other thing is, just a little sidebar here. I don't know if you want to do it now or later. I want to show you, you can see in there that just a few minutes that I submitted the project to our association called Public Relations Society of America. It's a national group, made it 45,000 people. And there's the big chapter here in Connecticut. And I thought the project was so unique and the way all of you came together from my experience that I submitted it on your behalf. Even though it looks like it's coming from me, I had to do it under my auspices. But in reality, I said this was a big team effort to do it. And so we beat out a lot of the big guys, big corporations and stuff. It was very competitive, over 100 entries. So we got both the gold. So I just want to give this to you guys. And I want to take a photograph, at least the three of you, if you want to get a news article out. So this is for, one side is for the school.
Oh, nice.
And one side is for both of you.
Oh, hey, very nice.
But on top of that, I decided to go a little extra level here.
Oh, yes. Wow. Look at that.
Very nice. On here, best in show. PRSA Greater Connecticut, it's all of Connecticut, Health Timbers Marketing, the town of Farmington, for Farmington High School Building Project, Community Relations. After the meeting, just I want to
carry that
around.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, congratulations to you two as well, Ira. Yeah, I've done it without you.
I know, it's,
And your guidance.
you guys made it a lot easier for me to do from a lot of projects I worked with. Still been with the school district for 5 years and still can't get going on it. Just to rebuild, do, so.
Yeah,
It depends on the community and the people running it. And, I think you just got that unique community that somehow people really care about all this stuff in a way that's very, very, I'm doing this for over 35 years. It's very unusual, over 60 projects here in Connecticut. You're like the top 1 or 2 of the district right now over the years. Now you're number 1. Because we got the award. And if you want Kathleen, share it with Dave. It's really a very competitive.
Wait, yeah, we can put this in our newsletter. Yeah.
We had 19 judges from Mexico did the judging on this. And they're brutal, the judges. I've done judging. And that's why I submitted, it's a summary, you'll see in there, if you want to read the summary I submitted, it's much more extensive. So I submitted the newsletters, all the materials, and put it together. And so they award this on the strategy and the tactics. So congratulations, it's a great team effort. If you need a few more certificates, I can get them, but I figured at least one for the town, one for the board, Kathleen.
Yeah, thank you.
For you, Meg, too. If Meg wants to hog it and bring it home.
I'll come visit it.
You too. I mean, come on,
Half the time.
Yeah, we'll split
half the time.
you have 6 months here, 6 months there.
Yeah.
Put a calendar together of when it's gonna be where.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, if you want another one, I can get another.
Oh, no.
No.
That's really nice. Very nice.
It's easier now that we're in the same district.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, we're gonna have to.
It'll be mine.
We can just let her keep it now.
Yeah.
Well, next year, Kathleen, you can submit this to the Cape Awards.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it was not, do it this year. Well, you're not a member, but I can submit it.
Yes, you can take care of that.
It's just back in the trophy.
It's a 10 times tougher, but it's a.
Yeah.
The review came back and they were saying it's, what they liked about it is the complete engagement of the community. And it's very rare they give one out. They usually get these to corporations and big advertising agencies. And so it's the first time I gave a community relations award in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's, when they see that, they said, particularly during COVID, being able to do that, they thought, to do that during now. So I'll get the reviews and I'll share them with you. They're quite complimentary to you guys' efforts.
You are the most award-winning committee of the building. You're like, that any of you have an award?
Awesome. Thank you, Ira.
Thank you so
I
much.
was respected and recognized by strangers. In
Yeah.
Mexico.
You're in Mexico. We have no clue of what's going on here.
You share it with you.
Just as an addition to the newsletter as well, I got a request from The Voice newspaper to provide some information on, they're gonna write an article, the high school newspaper. So I think I'm gonna submit the newsletter to her electronically, and then she wanted to quote. So we'll be in the school newsletter too, which is awesome. So that's always great. I
I
have
want to just
parents.
photograph the three of you or everyone here with the awards, and you can submit it with the press release like
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah, yeah.
created, and then
That's
submit
really
to the
nice.
local papers.
Yeah.
They should know the community that your effort is worth it.
All right. Anything else or
Anything related?
the newsletter? I don't think so.
I have one thing I noticed.
Okay.
Just one date is missing in this list.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me know, we can fix that.
Okay.
And just before you go.
Yep.
If you guys go through it, see,
Yeah.
just give me some
I
minor
wrote it
stuff
in.
now, and I'll.
You can take this copy.
Okay.
Yeah, do we want to add to that one?
Oh, we do have a start time now. We will be approving the meeting schedule for 2022, and we did a survey, so these meetings, communication subcommittee will begin at 4, but those building committee meetings will begin at 5.
Do you want me to put that in?
Yeah, I would say at 5 p.m.
Okay, so
Sorry.
but we're not putting subcommittee, just the building.
Just the building committee, yeah, in the, at the just library. /2. Oh, it says, yeah, it says at the height. All meetings are held at 5 p.m. in the Farmington School Library.
Yeah, we did that.
All meetings are held
Yeah,
at.
after exactly, Facebook. We probably get more.
I
Yeah,
just have
absolutely.
2 questions,
Track
and
it that way.
I probably should have mentioned this before.
We'll have to
On the
see.
front page, when it says, the Farmington High
We'll make
School
some
Building
adjustments,
Committee,
yeah.
chaired by Megan Guerrera, stated, is it the high school building committee stating, or is it Megan Guerrera stating? That say, Megan Guerrera, chair of the Farmington High School Building Committee stated, I don't know, I'm just, when I read it, it
Yeah.
sounds like the committee.
Well, what you would say then is Megan Guerrero, chair.
Yeah,
If you put chair afterwards, that's what you just switch chair behind it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
okay.
I'll do that.
And then the only other thing, and honestly, this is very minimal, but in the state of Connecticut's role, the last sentence, it says the building committee will be notified by the end of 2021 regarding the project status. On the priority list, isn't it just for state reimbursement? It's just for state reimbursement, or do you want to
Period.
say for the state's reimbursement amount?
I think if we just say for state reimbursement,
Yeah, we've been filling that sentence 6 months before.
we have that.
Because it's up in the air from what Kat told me because what's going on.
It's not official yet. The priority list comes out December 15th.
Okay,
So we've submitted all of our paperwork, we've done our job, and then the priority list is submitted. So as of right now, we don't know if we will be on the priority list.
Right.
We don't know what our status is, technically. Correct.
Should we just take out priority list? That'd be-
Well, no,
On
keep
the
priority
project
list.
status on the priority list for state reimbursement.
Yeah.
And just leave it,
For state reimbursement.
rather than entering into now like the amount.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's just for state reimbursement.
right.
I took that out.
Kind of shoots down any other possible questions.
If maybe say, will receive notification by the end
The building committee will receive notification by the end of,
just be notified regarding.
When's this going on?
ASAP.
As soon as you correct this, is a good.
I wasn't trying to get us to get this out.
I feel bad saying, because I should have given you this.
I was gonna say, because in 14 more days,
It'll be in mailboxes by then.
It'd be in the mailbox. All right, so what do you want me, you want to, you don't want to be notified, you want notification. It's just
The
realistic.
the building committee will receive notification.
By the end of 2021 regarding the project status on the priority list for state reimbursement.
And then we're done, Ira. No more.
No more.
or what?
I'm rolling the clock back to Labor Day.
He's gonna take our order.
No.
All right, well, I'm glad it's minor.
Question.
Sometimes these things are, because if it's a moving target, so every time we come back, we're just trying to get it done, like the list of the members. I know there's no changes, but this goes out toward the end of the year. It's as if
Yes,
it's-
and that's
this is
fine.
what
Yeah.
everyone's title is. After January, you're gonna,
Yeah.
we'll change that. And we don't want to put an as of or anything, just.
No.
No, I think we're good.
Okay, fall covers us.
What do you, Wendy?
I have two quick questions. Is there a reason why the state of Connecticut role isn't red? Like when you list all the groups, like town council, board of ed, building committee.
And we also have a contracted professional team in red. It's just a change in color.
Oh, okay, I guess I didn't see how it flows, okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess, and I know this is really small, and we talked about it last time, but, just want to make sure that, in the beginning here, the baseball field is faced the right way.
We did verify that.
Okay,
This is a
Yeah,
correct.
thank you for checking, because like I was like.
Yeah, there was another one there, this one back and forth.
Yes,
okay,
this is the corrected.
just wanted to double.
That was
I know we
another
talked about it,
delay.
it was a
Big
small detail, but.
Yeah,
No, I
It's a detail
understand.
that
Yeah.
people
we
will-
know somebody would follow.
Exactly, so, okay.
And, and the schematics, more or less, my understanding is around 90% reflect, more or less how the design's gonna be. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean, there might be, the brick might be a little color, but that design and form,
The shape still remains, yeah.
okay, so it's gonna pretty much stay that way.
Yep.
Because otherwise, we didn't put schematic anymore, this is just,
Oh, right.
Did you guys
same with
bring?
the top one too. The more visuals, the better.
Yeah, Wendy, we'll just double check.
Okay, did I miss the conversation where we say we anticipate students will be attending the new high school in August? I didn't know if we were, I know we talked about saying the fall in case there might be some delay.
Making it more general. I
We
mean, now that.
we could say fall, this language is consistent with everything we did pre-referendum in our presentation. That's the goal.
I think we added anticipate.
Yeah. we did that.
Okay.
I think is what we
Yes,
did.
that was the edit.
Okay.
Instead of
We
saying we
anticipate
will.
students. Right, exactly. I think that, you're right, Wendy, we went through like a whole, like, how do we do it?
Yeah, it gives us a little flexibility.
Right, that we
Yes.
anticipate,
Yeah,
right.
proposed. Okay, just wanted to check on
Great. Excellent. So item number 2, the website update.
This is just me. It's a quick one we have in our packets for the full building committee meeting. There was some correspondence that came in from a resident saying it would be a good idea if you updated all FHS project costs moving forward and publish the results. That would be putting it on the website. So we just wanted to put this in front of the communication subcommittee. A decision doesn't have to be made today, but this is going to be a discussion point for how do we best represent that? Where do we put it? What's the information that we need to get out to the public as we move through the project and, when we go to bid and all of these things. So there's a desire for the project costs to be up on the website to be accessible. So I think we as a subcommittee just need to have a discussion and manage how to best represent that.
I saw that correspondence. Do we know what it meant by cost? Is it up to date as we spend?
I can reach out to him and get some clarification.
It's not cost as we voted on. I think he's looking for more. I don't know.
Right. My interpretation was where we are in our budget. Like as we go along, are we on target? Are we?
Right.
And I don't know that right now because we haven't gone out to bid. We're still pretty early in the process. So maybe that's something when we bid and have our firm numbers that we can create some sort of tracker or some way to get that information.
I would just be careful with how much you put out.
Right. Yeah, no,
It can be,
absolutely.
it can be
There's
read
a
very
balance.
differently.
Maybe collapse it so that it's not.
Yeah, it's more maybe like a status kind of a view of where we, you know what I mean, versus actual numbers. Right, you know what I mean?
Well, we will get, throughout construction, we will be getting reports from O and G on progress. You know, maybe we just decipher that information. It'll come to the full committee. How do we best illustrate that information that we're getting to the residents so they are up to speed as well?
The other thing, too, thinking through it, like, I don't know if this is it, maybe it is more, reach out to, the gentleman to say, is it the financial update we're giving at the building committee meetings?
I'm
You know what I
assuming
mean,
it's
like,
part, but
invoicing
yeah.
amounts, or,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It was very general, it was very broad.
Yeah,
I can ask him specifically
kind
what
of-
he's looking for, because we want to make sure we can capture that if possible.
Just to be clear.
Yeah,
Because we could do a lot of work and then that's not really what the.
right.
We could be way off base.
yeah.
Okay. So I think this is something we'll put in front of the committee now, and as we move forward and get some more clarity, we can revisit it, as we kind of design that website as we're moving through construction.
That's all I have for the website. Perfect. All right, item D, old business to review the FHS building project Q&A.
I did receive some feedback from last time.
Yep.
So if we want to go through, someone had suggestions about which ones we should eliminate.
Yep.
And on the first page, the first two were suggested to be eliminated. That's why is the building committee recommending a new high school? And what are the major issues that led the committee to recommend construction of a new high school building? On the second page, that question remains. Third page, middle, when will the town referendum be held? We're proposing eliminating that one. On the next page, it's at the bottom of the third page, what is the proposed project timeline, and it plays into the next page? It's just recommended to reword that table. The arrow points, it says students will occupy the new high school in August. And we
Yeah,
can just make it reflect the language in the newsletter we anticipate. Everything else on that page looks all right. On the next page, why has Farmington been placed on warning status by NEAS? That was recommended to be removed.
Yeah. They,
Oh, Scott.
yes,
Yeah.
upon the referendum, he asked, contacted us, it was supposed to be the last year that we're housed in the old building, so it'll be 20, they actually pushed it back a year to wait until we're settled into the new building.
So that's your next visitation.
So that was a contact we received after we updated them on the past referendum, after the decision we made. So it makes sense for them to come in, let us get into the new building, evaluate it.
Yeah.
Sure. So, so we appreciate that as well.
And that's the 10-year? Or 11?
11 now, yeah,
11.
yeah. So we were gonna get busy this year, and we got another year before we start ramping up our efforts.
And I heard a rumor that those standards just changed too. I was in a meeting about that. So,
Yeah, we've been keeping up to date.
Yeah, we have to submit regular updates, and I have another one due in February as well, so. Again, they're fully up to date on the passing of this project. So we can keep updated with more.
Oh, like what is the quiet period? We took that one out.
Yep.
Are we having conversations about the 1928 building? Because that's one of the questions I have.
The 1928 building, it's my understanding that when the new town council comes in January, that's going to be something that they are going to take up and form a committee on.
Okay.
So that's definitely something that's going to be top of mind for that new town council.
I'm just wondering if that's something we might want to just leave it out, or is that something maybe to add on?
As that answer.
Yeah, to add to the answer, because I think that answer's been kind of sitting for a while.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if people are wondering, like, you know, okay, we voted for this and this was.
Yeah, they didn't see it on the referendum.
But now what?
Yeah, I think once the town council makes that effort, I don't know what the exact timing of that is gonna be, because I haven't been sworn in yet, I haven't met.
Yeah,
I think once they take an action on it, we can update that, so we have a clear understanding about what direction they're going in.
all right, so just kind of let this answer sit, I guess.
Yeah.
to another-
I think, and then we can add to it, I think, like you said, like once we have.
Or maybe just saying, I don't know, maybe saying something like, once we read town council's sworn in. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking out loud, like.
I mean, I think
after January.
once the town council does make a decision, this really has been separated from the project, so I think any effort would be on the town website and under the town, so maybe it's then a link to that or something, because they are connected projects. But they do have a clear distinction between this building project and that, whatever it's for. So I would suggest kind of maybe updating this answer slightly so that it's still known that this is something that we're working on.
Right.
And then when we get more information from town council, we can update it then.
I do think some parking changes might have happened with buses, and so we might want to just
Yes,
hold on that one until we have a better idea of the site design. And we've just been in internal meetings with them, making sure we have enough room to queue up cars, and so it probably is something we want to hold on with.
I agree.
Take that off and then put it in when it's.
I think we
Yes,
put it
okay,
in like
finalized.
final. Because this language is very specific to the original design, and
Yeah.
things have been changed because, for those that know school jump up here, you're queued all the way around. And we want to make sure that we're not adding to the congestion on Route 4.
Right.
With the new building location, so that's still being vetted.
Oh, is this the parking question?
Yeah.
last.
Devin, were there any other ones that were eliminated?
Just on the second to last page, there's one, what will happen if the
Yeah,
project doesn't
doesn't
pass
pass.
referendum? Right.
Yeah.
And then, I think Kathy already mentioned the quiet period. Other than that, there were no other, feedback.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will eliminate those questions that we designated to be eliminated. There are a few that we will have to hold on, like this parking one.
About the DS one, I'm not so sure, but that would be one I would know.
Is the yes,
Well, because essentially with this project, we're good.
It's addressing that.
Because the rest of our report, was excellent, so it really focused on this particular area. And with the passing of the referendum, I mean, we could keep it
should we
up
keep
there.
it and update it?
Yeah, I mean, we could keep it updated.
whole thing.
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it could be sounds,
I don't know how.
but as like a pre-referendum FAQ, and then, so it's still out there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Then you could really clean it up.
So would we want to eliminate the NEAS question, or would we want to provide an update?
We could provide an update, just so people realize that, now that the facility has passed, now we're on track, for our next visit. I don't know, do they take action now? Scott, or do they wait for the visit to take
I'm gonna see
action?
if I have the last letter they sent me
You
electronically.
remain that one.
Because if they say in that letter, we're no longer. I don't know.
Would that be the next visit?
This is gonna be posted on our website, so this can be updated.
Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah,
would put the timeline right up front,
Yeah.
right on the main.
right on the,
Yeah.
that should be the first thing, here's the timeline.
Yeah, it's currently up, the timeline's currently right on the main page.
Yeah, so when you're doing this Q&A. The other thing is, I'm thinking about, given we've got the neighbors, should we have a Q&A? How are you gonna protect the noise or whatever? Or is that too early to deal with right now?
Well, there is a question, how the planning to mitigate surrounding neighbors impact.
But that's probably more
The letter.
for the plan, not construction. The neighborhood impact of the letter. A little more, right? Yeah.
I might want to make a separate question,
No, exactly.
remind them that the design of the building is to minimize the noise facing the neighborhood. Again, because that's gonna keep cropping up, when they, no matter what you do, they're gonna complain.
Well, I think we're gonna have a specific neighborhood liaison, specific effort to the neighborhood before, during.
Yeah, you might want to put them up with, noise, dust,
Yeah,
your traffic. You might want to bundle this somehow, saying, we recognize there's gonna be issues with construction.
yes,
And that, so you have the construction, and then when the building's up, how's that gonna also protect us over time, so, or the neighbors don't feel like they're being bombarded with band music or something. So it's just something you might wanna look all the nuisance stuff, and make it as one question. You don't necessarily have to answer it all now, just, I think putting it in is recognizing that, right now, it's early, folks, but, starting in a year or so, there's gonna be, a lot of there'll be disruption. Safety issues, stuff like that. So just, we have it in there all the time, and less phone calls, less complaints.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Just by way of update, I have a letter that I received from NIAS indicating that the commission is pleased to learn that on June 3rd, 2021, the approval of construction for new Farmington High School. However, we will remain on warning status until everything is fully satisfactorily resolved.
Makes sense.
Scott, would you be able to send that to me so I can word a question based off of that letter?
Sure, I'm forward to you right now.
Thank you.
Think the
And
same
basically say that,
Yeah, there's another piece in there. We reduced counseling by 0.5, but it's, which I have to write in a report, but.
It's not
It's not a concern.
I won't do that.
people.
So Kat, along with that, should we mention that the next NES meeting will be in 2024?
Is it 20 Will we get in the building in 2024? Is it in 2024 or was it the following year?
I think it's the
Oh,
following.
yeah,
right?
So maybe we could say it is anticipated that NIA's next visit will be in 2025. Yeah.
The fall,
Yeah, I'll give you the date for that, for that.
the fall.
I think that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because we were approaching that 10-year and the pressure was on to do
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to the building. So it's good to get it.
Remind people we're solving the problem.
And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with NES, but don't know, if you maybe want to mention that it's a 10-year period.
We'll
So they
conduct
probably
their
wonder,
10-year visit.
like, why it's so long? Yeah, like the next 10-year visit for NES, which will take place in 2025.
Yeah.
Because then people think like, why are we waiting out so long? But they might not realize that it's that 10-year period.
You get questions about accreditation and all? Really not. It's not on you.
It was during the
Project, but
During
the project.
if it wasn't for the project, no.
I don't think.
Well, we're good at it. We score high at all the others, curriculum, every.
Facility stuff.
Right, it was a facility that was the issue.
Yeah.
In the report.
It's not like equality of education.
Because there had been 2 visits of the same concern. So that's why they escalated it this last visit.
That helpful for you guys I think you at least start to get us up to date.
Yeah.
Self-reflection during 2024, 2025, they're not going to visit until 2027 now.
Oh,
wow.
Wow. Really let us settle in that building.
12-year visit.
Please no. to, final item here, this is new business. So can I get a motion to approve the attached 2022 communication subcommittee meeting schedule? Okay. Any discussion? So this was a result of the survey that I sent out to a couple of those options, just to let everybody know that one person voted for our current schedule. So we had, it was distributed, pretty heavily towards the earlier start time for people. So what we're going for is 4 p.m. And remember, these are, we'll have these as necessary if you remember. So we've got on the calendar not only for communications, but also for the regular building committee in the 2-week cadence. But if at some point we might not need, we might only need 1 communication per month or something like that. So what we want to do is get them on the calendar, put them out there, and then we'll cancel if necessary. So all the dates are here: 4 o'clock start time here in the school library, and then the building committee meetings that you'll see will start immediately following.
Starting December 15th.
January, yeah,
So starting in 2020.
Where's this?
I think it's the last week.
I don't know. Oh, didn't have.
Any thoughts or conversations on that?
I got it, sorry.
And we'll, we were talking earlier too, that if for some reason start getting feedback, we can always revisit. What the thinking here was that pre-referendum, we were doing everything good to make sure we maintain community engagement, get a good time on the calendar. Not that we want to prevent that, but we're seeing a lot more engagement after, viewing after the actual meeting execution. So it made more sense for us, I think, to do something for us that made sense, and then people can watch it anytime they want after that. So I think that's good. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Right, yes,
Just one question, just to close out, I just thought of, we do have a meeting scheduled for the second meeting in December, which is December 15th. We're having a building committee meeting that night. Do we feel we need to meet again in December? That's an ask.
for this meeting.
For this communication.
We are having on the building.
I think we're. This will be out.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we
Yeah,
guys
it is
can.
revisions to the FAQ, unless you know something that's coming down the pipe.
No,
I can't think of anything that would,
Require us. I don't think so either.
good month to like.
Yeah.
We will still have to see you that night. at the building.
Which is 1 hour later.
It's 1 hour off the calendar.
Actually, on this one, the meeting schedule, April 13th is April break.
Okay,
You want to take that? I'm sorry, I'm going away.
I think we'll leave it on for now.
Just might be the one.
Approve as a whole, and then we'll add, well, we can always, it's easier to cancel than it is to,
Okay.
but good catch. We'll have
I calculate all my April vacations. As a teacher, all my vacations, I calculated all,
That's right.
all my weeks.
Okay, so we have unanimous approval on the meeting schedule. And then can I add an additional? So I'm gonna ask for additional motion to cancel the December 15th communication subcommittee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approved for that as well. That was a good catch for that. We're all sitting here. Anything else, or we got a few minutes, when you take a few minutes before we start the next one?
Picture.
Okay, let me adjourn first, so, I get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will adjourn at 6:19.